Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's right at the top of the hour at 2 o'clock, and we're going to get started. So, just to get started, as normal, um, with this last one, as they've been for the others, if there are any questions or anything that comes up during this session, please use the chat function to send questions over. This one's meant to be a little bit more fun, just a little more lighthearted, but at the same time, give a good synopsis of the year that we had here at 3A. So as we're going through it, you may see some things that look familiar, some things that are new. But again, we just wanted to kind of recap what we've done this year. So it's not the typical session, but at the same time, we're going to have a little bit of fun to close out our year with it today. So again, I'm Mike Lawrence. I'm our manager of learning and development here at 3A, and it has been quite a wild ride, I think, for all of us across the board. So we're just looking forward to everything that is to come. And with that, we'll jump right into today. So again, for those that have just joined, I'm still clicking the button here to let folks in the room. For those that just joined, greetings to everybody. We're so glad you've joined us, not just today, but throughout the year as we've explored taking our message to the web. This is kind of new for us. So today we're going to take a good, like I said, lighthearted look at one of the most mind-numbing years in my lifetime, and probably the same for many of you. So sit back, relax, and here we go. So again, in the midst of it all, we at 3A Composites consider ourselves very fortunate not to only have the doors open, but to also have seen some pretty amazing things happen in our business. So as we're going through this, we're just going to take a quick calendar walk back through time and take a look at our year in review. So for many, this may be the way we will all remember 2020, but if you recall, it didn't quite start out this way. So looking back at first quarter, in January, we were going through our usual preparations for the coming year. We were holding meetings, making plans, actually fist bumping and shaking hands. And we were reviewing approved budgets and for planning purposes. We were meeting and getting to learn from one another in close spaces. We actually, as a company, one of the things you may not know is we actually discarded our trade show booth at the end of the last show last year, and we're planning a new booth. So we made it, we were going to make it all out of our own products. And as things got going, we found out that, things were going to continue to change. So little beknownst to many of you, but we still don't have a trade show booth because we tossed our last one. So that's really kind of how the year started for us too. But some of the other things that happened is we saw the new D-bond was introduced. We changed the colors to be more relevant to our sign business today. So all of our colors now have a gloss and a matte finish to each side. And you can see more about that on the website or talk to your sales reps. But that was really something that was exciting for us to get the year kicked off. From my perspective in the training world, we hosted our first live training event right here in Davidson. And we had a group of about 30 come in to kick off the year, and we were really off to a great start. Then before the month was over, the world was rocked by the loss of Kobe, for those that were sports fans. And where this was making headlines, a lot of us missed what was also making the news, which was what we're dealing with now with COVID-19. So moving on into February, we were still all kind of in shock based on our losses, but business pressed on. With my first large training under my belt here at 3A, I began looking at what else was going on around the organization and find out what was relevant to the industry and try to marry the two so we could talk about it. And that's where this very webinar series that you're sitting and listening to right now was born. And about this time, the world started getting a little weirder. So as we look on into March, we're rolling along here. And March is pretty much the only thing that was rolling because there was no rolls of toilet paper to be found anywhere, nor were there any sanitizers, nor were there any Lysol wipes. Things that we once took for granted were gone and honestly nowhere to be found. We found ourselves in somewhat unfamiliar territory here as we compared our times to things that had happened before, from the gas shortage to the 70s and or 90s, depending on your seasoning on this planet, to some of the different things that we had seen before. So we weren't really kind of settled into it. We just knew something was different. So this being one of those things, it was still kind of new. Weren't really sure what to do with it. But we were beginning to work from home, stay off the roads, and even needed an essential business form to be on the road in some cases. But also for this company and for 3A, we added a couple folks to our team. Eric Zaslowski joined us in the Northeast as our new sales manager there. He had a different kind of start. He wasn't able to go out and see customers and meet folks, so he had to learn a little bit about how to get in touch with them via the phone and start using this wonderful thing we all know and love called web conferencing. Our CFO at the time, Barry Wyatt, retired, and John Sutton took over his duties in-house as well. So a little bit of change was happening on the inside as well as going on around us. As a product, we introduced Centra Eclipse, our standard black Centra with a thin, solid Type 1 PVC sheet on one side. This was popular with our printers because it eliminated the cost and time-consuming process of flood coating black to get a bright finish. So, one of the first questions we always get when we regarding Centra Eclipse is, can I get the white on both sides or on both surfaces? And I'm happy to say that coming in 2021, you should be able to. But again, this was kind of our first quarter. This is what was happening. We were kind of okay. We were looking at things a little bit differently, but we were still flowing pretty good. Thus ends first quarter 2020. As the crazy was getting started, we moved on to Q2. So in April, we brought you the news that our engineers in the Benton, Kentucky plant, where we make Centra, had made significant improvements to black Centra. These improvements gave a deeper, richer black and minimized any extrusion lines in the sheet. It wasn't easy to do on an extruded product. We began to provide online training to our customers and work diligently on creating e-learning for our products, many of the things that you see today. In May, it was clear that the pandemic was not going anywhere and it was going to change the way that we communicate. We increased our presence with online training and education programs. We were all becoming familiar with Zoom, GoToMeeting, and Teams, and any other platform we could get our hands on. We all learned how to mute and unmute and the value of knowing what's behind you in the frame of your camera. In the outside world, we began to see just how creative we could be to protect ourselves. We found ourselves beginning to lock off from the world around us. We saw numbers that concerned us, both for our health and our economy. And still, there was no toilet paper. In June, we began to explore the impact of COVID on our retail market. We dove deep here at 3A, trying to understand what was happening in the world to get a better idea. And we were also trying to figure out how in the world to get more clear sheet. We listened closely to our own Alan Plunkett to see where retail was headed. At this point, we knew for sure this wasn't going to pass anytime soon. As we moved along, Q3 was waiting for us. July saw us getting our sea legs. We had webinars under our belt. We were learning what the market needs were. We found ways to keep up the communication with our distributor partners and add value to our customers. We talked about how to clean our products and learn the power of microfiber. We're still in awe of the rapidly changing market, but we saw the opportunities to be an asset. In August, we emphasized the Dispa product, a truly revolutionary product that ticks every box. Rigid, printable, easy to cut, can be bent, stays flat even in humid conditions, cost-effective, and recyclable as it's 100% paper. In September, we started to play around a little bit with one of our products. We brought in Debond Mirror, silver and anthracite, 3mm thick, 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. Amazing mirror finish in a rigid, unbreakable, fire-resistant product. We had tremendous reaction to the product and had some printed in spectacular effects. You'll have to wait to 2021 to learn more, or email me, I'll show you some stuff. But with that, we knew we could print on our mirrored Debond. We heard and used the term the next normal quite a bit. We went outside. We even ate outside. Things were different, but we were figuring something out. We could breathe a little. Oh, wait, it's election time. 2020 strikes again. And here we are in Q4. So now the holidays are upon us. We may not be together, but we are looking out for one another. Thanksgiving was smaller. Lots of Zoom calls brought us together. We're watching sports with empty stands. We're buying things but not leaving home even more than we used to. We have masks for every outfit. We figured out Zoom, but can't quite grasp the school classroom website for our kids. We're figuring out how to care for ourselves and the people around us. And at 3A, we're still growing. In September, we announced our acquisition of the Encore product line. We took the best of both products and created a new product line. The creative team and the engineers worked together to build the best foam board offering available. Countless hours by some amazing people went into the creation of the new foam core product line. In November, we introduced it to the world. And here we are today, looking back on what the surface really kind of looked like a tumultuous time in our history as a planet, but seeing the silver linings as a company. Yes, we lost a lot this year. We all have. But I hope in all of this, you've seen what you're capable of enduring and even overcoming. And we at 3A Composites will be right here with you. So as we look forward into what's coming in the future, here's some of the same things you've seen before. This web series will continue. There'll be new training opportunities, new product launches, new manufacturing capabilities, and of course, more webinars. So we're looking forward to that for this coming year. But hopefully in all of this, we found a way to communicate with one another, to stand behind one another, and to work together in ways that we never thought possible before. And we thank you, all of our listening audience and customers and distributors, for all your support over this year. We're looking forward to all there is to come. Stay tuned as we look forward to 2021. Same day and time each month. Now let's take a look back at our programs that you made possible this year from our training team. So from me, Michael Lawrence, your faithful learning and development manager here at 3A, I thank you for everything that you've done to make this year a success and for the opportunities to reach out, to learn from you. A lot of the material that we covered this year came from you, our listening audience. And we're so very proud and glad to work with you going into the future. So please keep the ideas coming, keep everything flowing so that we can begin to work together. Oop, that started a course again. Let's move that. So we can move together even further in the future. So if you have any further questions for this year or any questions about what's going on into next year, please feel free to reach out to me or to your sales professionals in your areas. We're all very eager and excited to spend time with you in the coming year. I know this one was pretty short, but the idea here was just to have a little fun with it, give you some insight as to what's happened here, and to just kind of wrap up the year in a way that we can make it memorable. So looking forward to 2021. We will see you again in the new year. Before we go, if there are any questions or any feedback that you have, please feel free to use the chat function at this time, and I will see and do my best to answer them. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. All right. Well, I think we are done for the day and consequently done for the year. We look forward to sparking up next year. We'll get started in January, third Thursday at 2 p.m., just like normal. And we'll be looking over what's going to happen in 2021, just some of the highlights that we have thus far, and kicking off the year with a bang. So we look forward to seeing you all then. And another big thank you to all our partners and customers, distributor partners, and friends in the marketplace. We look forward to your great success and wish you happy holidays. Bye bye now.